is how we can build anything with DeepSeek v3. Let's get straight into the video. All right. So what's exactly DeepSeek? DeepSeek is actually open source model that is created by a Chinese quant fund. Now, it's not a big tech startup or a big tech company like Apple or Google. They actually released a new model. Their upgraded model is called as DeepSeek v3. Now, this model has been making a lot of news is because it actually outperformed a lot of leading closed source models like GPT-4o, which is from OpenAI. Then you got Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is from Anthropic, and you got Meta's Llama 3.1. It is actually a model that uses a framework called as mixture of experts, which actually is trained on 671 billion parameters. So when you compare it with Claude 3.5 and GPT-4o, the thing that specializes Deep3 is specifically it's very strong in coding and math and kind of science related tasks. It has got multilingual support, which means you can pretty much query and chat in multiple different languages. And the best thing is it has got super affordable API pricing. Let's, like, for example, if you spend 1 million tokens, output tokens on GPT's API, which is OpenAI's API, you would be spending $10. And if you spend the same amount of tokens in DeepSeek using DeepSeek v3, you would be doing in like literally a fraction of cost, which is $0.28, which is 35 times cheaper than the GPT APIs. Now imagine how many variety of applications could you be building on top with this new AI model. All right. If you have a look on the LLM benchmark, which is the live LLM benchmark, you will see it outperforms on math benchmark, which is math 500, which is solving hard math problems. It performs like 90 percentile or the other models. And then you got the code forces benchmark, which gives you the overall evaluation on how well it can generate code. So again, it outshines a lot of other models, which is GPT-4. Sonnet is far more behind the DeepSeek v3. Now, when you talk in terms of MMLU Pro benchmark, which is kind of how well it has been trained on a subject matter expert, it kind of matches with the Claude and GPT-4o. Then you got GPQA4 Diamond, which is more on the general questions, which is general question answering benchmark. Then you get to see, yeah, it again matches the overall performance and efficiency for the other models as well. While if you have a look on advanced math coding test, that is AMI 2024, you get to see it again outperforms every single model. And then on the SVV benchmark, it is again, quite good and very efficient with respect to the other models. If you watched this far, that means you're super serious about AI and automation. So please give a like and subscribe to the channel for more automation content. And let's continue. Right. So on the LLM benchmark, it does work absolutely great on a lot of benchmarks, right? You get to generate code at best, you get to solve mathematical equations at the best. But there are a few things that you need to make sure when you try to use DeepSeek API, because there are few concerns and few cons about this model. So let's have a look at that as well. So you have to be very cautious that the model does not, spit out a lot of politically sensitive topics, because it is under Chinese jurisdiction. So it has got a lot of things to do with local laws and policies and stuff. And the second most important thing that you have to take care about is, because there are a lot of laws and government scrutiny, you have to make sure that your data is actually safe with the model. So you can't be just giving your information to the model, and they will actually use the data to train it on, because it's an open source model altogether, right? So you have to be very sensitive and very cautious on these aspects. But overall, it's quite a good model. Now let's see how we can start using this model for our own building. Like, let's build something, right? The first thing that we'll do is explore the chat mode, which is like a chat GPT like interface for asking questions to the model, and then see what comes out of it. So to do that, what you have to do is go to chat.deepseek.com. So you'll have to log in. If you don't have an account, you can use Google login and then solve a particular captcha, and then you will be here. So what we will do is try to evaluate this model with a bunch of actions. And then based on that, we'll just quickly go through every single feature that the model has to offer or the chatbot has to offer. So I have got this system prompt, which is act as nutritionist. I'll just paste that up. Act as nutritionist, share the complete breakdown of the food I have, be as specific as possible. And then when I type it, the user prompt, so basically, let me know what you have eaten. I'll give you precise breakdown. So I'm just typing the user prompt now. So I had 4 eggs, one grilled sandwich with tomato soup. Great. Let's break down the complete meal, which is 4 eggs, one grilled sandwich, and tomato soup. 4 eggs contains 312 calories, protein, fat, carbohydrate, cholesterol, micronutrients, and all of that. Again, every single action item have got their individual breakdown. That means, as per the prompt that we shared, it is doing what it is supposed to do. So we got everything clear on this as well. And then it also gave us a chart of, what is going to be the approx calories, what is going to be the approx protein, approx cholesterol, approx. Now imagine, you got the open source model just doing everything up, and which is completely free to use. Why should you go and pay ChatGPT a subscription of, let's say, $20 a month for using their model? So that is one that you could do. Number two is, let's also check that they got few options over here, which is deep think, which is kind of a feature that helps you solve problems through very analytical reasoning. And then they got a search option as well, which is search the web when necessary. We'll check the deep think first. So what I'm going to ask is specifically a question, which is a logical question. And then based on that, let's see what comes up, from DeepSeek v3. So let's just ask without the deep think, which is without the logical reasoning capability, and see what it comes up with. Okay, so it straight away gave the answer, which is, okay, this is what we will be doing. And then step one, step two, step three. This is kind of you know, a very straightforward approach without even thinking much. And it gave us final answer. Okay, this is what you need to do. But what if we activated this deep think option, and then let's try to give the same question to the model? Okay, so it's thinking. That means it has got into a thinking mode now. It's kind of retrospecting every single move, and it is kind of recording every single thing that is it is doing. Now you see all the trace that is that you are able to showcase over here. Now it is taking a lot of moves. Like if I move one, if I move two over here, hey wait, this problem is not about moving jars, and then it's computing a lot of probabilities. Let's give some time for the model to actually bring the answer. All right, after a lot of computation, it basically gave us an answer which is very mathematical, and it took a lot of time, but that is what it was thinking, right? It was into the thinking mode. It was constantly analyzing different solutions, and then based on top, it suggests us the optimal one. Now this feature in OpenAI cost you money, because all the reasoning model, right? O1, like O1 mini, everything is, you have to pay subscription for. Like you have to get a pro account to be able to do that. But with DeepSeek, it's very, very free to use. So, it's important and to remember that part as well. All right. So let's also use there one more feature, which is search. Now, without search, if I type the prompt saying, who is the president of the United States? It will give you an answer saying, as of my last update in 2023, the president of the United States is Joe Biden, which is completely incorrect. Now, what I will do is I will turn on this search prompt, and I'll type the same query. And then it will try to search the web, which is an action, found 33 results. It will try to scrape all the results. And then based on the scraping, it will try to sum it up. As of January 2025, Joe Biden is still the president of the United States. However, Donald Trump has been elected as the 47th president and is scheduled to be inaugurated on January 20th. That means it's trying to pull everything from search, and then you're trying to, summarize it up using LLM. That is also a very important feature to use, which DeepSeek offers. One more thing that you could do is actually upload files, which supports text extraction. So let's say if I have to share this CSV, it's completely text-based format. And now I ask, what was the order number? So it will try to give me everything based on the order number. So basically, it is actually trying to read everything from CSV, text file, PDFs, all the text extractions that is possible with V3. Was all right. So that was everything on the chat mode. Now let's explore their APIs as well. So to explore their APIs, what you need to do is go to platform.deepseek.com. Now, once you enter, you'll see a login page, which absolutely you have to log in, and then you'll be able to get into the dashboard. Pretty easy. Now you need to note few things, which is your available tokens, your top up balance, your granted balance, monthly expenses. Everything would be zero because it's very new account that you have. Now to use their API, you basically need to add a few credits, which is you need to top it up with some dollars. In my case, I did it for $2. You can stretch to like multiple, you know let's say thousands of dollars. But for DeepSeek, you don't have to do that because it's very, very cheap. You can just top it up with $2, and that is more than enough for you to test it out as well as release everything on production as well, because it's so cheap that let's take an example. I did like 55 API calls. I consumed 377,000 tokens. And how much did it cost me? It costed me like 3 cents, like literally. Now I have huge balance in front of me that I can literally use to create more responses and use it for my further API request. So okay, now to create your API key, what you need to do is go to API keys, and then I have two API keys already created. I'll create a new API key. So I'll create a new API key. I'll use the name as cursor API key because I'm going to get it integrated with cursor for building things. So create API key. Now this is the API key. I'll obviously delete it up post usage, copy, and then you just save the API key somewhere on the notes. Let's say I paste it over here. Okay. So now what you need to do is basically you go to doc section. Now, the doc section has got everything related to their REST API calls. How the formatting should be. This is the base URL. So at the bottom you see curl command. You got Python command, Node.js. Everything that it takes for you to install and start calling the API. So just copy this URL, and then I already have that pasted in my Postman. Postman, by the way, is a request client which helps you to call APIs through a user interface. That is what it is. And then this is the base URL. I have got a model. The body is model is DeepSeek chat messages. So I've given the system prompt as again the same. If you have not used any sort of APIs, maybe even open APIs, it's very easy. Okay, just stick to it, and I'll guide you with it. So your helpful nutritionist, always reply with complete nutrition breakdown for the food recipe I share. User content, I am eating X. Now if you click on the send, basically this is going to get sent to the DeepSeek. And now I might run into issues because I deleted a bunch of API keys, which I'll update over here in the authorization. So if you see, no, I did not. So this is working. Now, eggs are highly nutritious food, providing a wide range of essential nutrients and everything. So everything is so dense based on the system prompt that I literally gave a user prompt saying I'm eating eggs and this is what you need to do. So this is how you can use their API key. By the way, I'm using it with Postman. I'm also gonna get it integrated to Cursor as well. So let's go to Cursor and get it integrated to Cursor. I have my API key. Now what I need to do is basically open Cursor. Okay. So I have Cursor. So this is the new folder that I've created, built using DeepSeek. Now, if you go to Cursor settings, now what you need to do is add a new model over here, which is DeepSeek chat. Add a model. Okay, that gets checked. You might have a lot of models selected, so you just need to uncheck all of them, and then we need to add the API keys. So we need to copy paste the API key, which is the API key that I created. Copy, and then once you click on paste, okay, that is paste. So you need to also override the base URL. So once you click on this override API base URL, you'll have the URL over here. Now what you need to do is you need to copy paste the URL from doc. So docs, and then we have this base URL. Just copy paste this URL, copy, and then you have to paste it over here. So this is saved. Now this is all good. Before that, you just need to enable this up. So enable OpenAI API key. Now, what you need to do is you need to be on the Cursor Pro subscription to be able to use DeepSeek V3 as a model, because it might give you error saying, you know, you need to be on Cursor Pro subscription or this kind of error. Okay. So that was it. And then I'll just quickly create a new file. Let's say index.html. So I'm trying to create something using DeepSeek. So the first thing that I will do is I'll just, delete this. So I'll press Command I, which gets me to the new window, which is, so anybody who might have used Cursor knows what is Composer, what is Chat, what is Bug Finder. The thing is, you won't be able to use DeepSeek model with agentic behavior using Composer. So you can't use the agent, you can't use this model in agent. You have to use it in under normal mode. And then let's say if I want to verify what model I'm what model am I using. So I'll just type what model am I using. So it will give you the answer saying you're currently using DeepSeek chat model, which is an intelligent DeepSeek. Okay, that means our integration is all successful. Now it's just that you need to build something, right? You can start building anything from scratch. So for example, let's do something which is Command K. I'm trying to build me a to-do application with plain HTML and inline JavaScript. This is just a sample, but you can literally create anything using using this model. So this is okay. It spits out code literally. It is showing everything. Okay, let's accept the changes, and now I'll just run it up, which is okay. So you got to reveal in Finder, and then I'll just double click. So you got application running, which is now if you add task, simple, easy. That is just with one prompt, you build something that too very cheap and using the most powerful API on this planet.